This is Josh Wood's Genesis Podcast. My hope is that this will help you connect in new ways with the God of the Bible as it helps me study, process, and think out loud. Thanks so much for listening. Let's go. Genesis chapter 3. Before we dive into Genesis chapter 3, we should look at the last verse of Genesis chapter 2. Adam and his wife were both naked and they felt no shame. NIV. All was well. Things were good. They were naked and they liked it, and life was awesome. And that lasted one whole verse. Very quickly, Adam and Eve go from naked and unashamed to ashamed and poorly clothed, frantically trying to cover themselves up. The remainder of the Bible from this point on, and post-Bible human existence for that matter, is the story of humanity generally making terrible decisions that lead to a sickening array of devastating consequences. I do find it a bit ironic how the present time echoes this moment in the Garden of Eden. Adam and Eve had this urge to be like God and access all of his knowledge. And they gave in to it. They bit the fruit. With one bite out of the fruit, they obtained the knowledge of good and evil, and it ruined them. They couldn't control it. It controlled them. A long, long time in the future, here we are. We're carrying around these devices in our pockets that allow us to obtain at 5G speeds the knowledge of good and evil. And these devices have these ironic symbols straight out of Genesis 2 on the backs of them. A piece of fruit with a bite out of it. And somehow we think we've now evolved enough that we can control the knowledge. But the knowledge is still controlling us. According to Pew Research Center, the average social media user between the ages of 18 and 24 spent over 3 hours per day on social media. Users between the ages of 24 and 65 averaged around 2 hours per day. According to another study, the average American phone user spends 4 hours and 37 minutes per day on his or her device. Wow. View the links in the post for more information on these studies. As a society, we've invented more means of connecting with people all over the world than we've ever had in human history. And yet, we feel alone at an epidemic level. By and large, outside of funny cat videos, Dude Perfect, and a few others, social media isn't making us feel joyful or connected. The social media posts of others are, much like Adam and Eve, making us feel more unclothed and ashamed and disconnected rather than confident and affirmed and connected. Far too often, our own social media posts make us feel the same way when we hit that post button just a little bit too quickly. I don't know about you, but on more than one occasion I've had a sinking Adam and Eve-esque feeling. I post some moderately witty, sure to be hilarious post on social media, only to very quickly thereafter feel naked and ashamed. One time I spelled the UR variant of your, Y-O-U-R, rather than the correct Y-O-U''re. Shame. You get the point. For all its changes, mankind hasn't really changed all that much since the garden. We still get the same sinking feeling that Adam and Eve got, now for over 4 hours per day. And we still handle guilt the same way we did in the garden. Blame someone else. Do you remember Adam's answer when confronted? Adam was like, this woman you gave me made me do it. Translation, it's her fault. So really, God, if you think about it, it's basically your fault that I ate the forbidden fruit, because you're the one who gave me this woman. Eve's response was similar. The serpent tricked me. Translation, it's not my fault. It's this horrible serpent's fault. Humanity hasn't changed since then. Don't believe me? Have children. I think many kids' first words are mama or daddy, but it doesn't take them very long into the formation of their little vocabularies to get to not me or he did it. Of course, we sophisticated adults are not much better. Who did I immediately blame when I recently broke a rib skiing? Why, I blamed the rock in the middle of the run, of course. Not the 45-year-old trying to be a teenager. Of course not. To paraphrase the great Jeff Foxworthy, you never hear of someone going into counseling and saying to the counselor, My mom was great. My dad was great. My friends were great. I'm just an idiot who makes terrible choices. It's just who we are. We're blame throwers, not blame owners. All that said, as I reread Genesis 3, I feel like that is the message God is trying to get across to me personally. First, I need to spend more time building face-to-face relationships and less time scrolling social media. I need to be mindful that I'm prone to using my phone just like the forbidden fruit logo on the back of it symbolizes, as a gateway to shame, blame, and disconnect from God rather than the opposite. Second, when I do spend time building face-to-face relationships, I need to stop blaming other people for everything that goes wrong in those relationships and/or armchair quarterbacking other people's lives. And maybe, just maybe, I can start to use technology to help me build relationships rather than using it to isolate me from them. I'll close this week with 2 quotes. Here's the first. Everyone is interesting. If you're ever bored in a conversation, the problem is with you, not the other person. Matt Mullenweg. Here's the second. It is not the experiences in our lives that change us. It is our response to those experiences, and that should be a very noticeable distinction between the Christian and the non-Christian. Elizabeth Elliot.
Yo, Genesis 2, verse 25, we begin. Adam and Eve, no shame in their skin. Wild and free, life was pure, no stress. 1 verse later, man, it's a mess. Bit the fruit, trying to be like God. Knowledge dropped, now they feeling flawed. Covering up, ashamed in the shade. Humanity's fall, the price was paid. From the garden to the screen, same old scene. Scrolling through the shame, living unclean. 4 hours a day, we're lost in the glow. Blame in our veins, that's all we know. Fruit with a bite, yeah, still in our hand. Tech in our pocket, we don't understand. Exposed and ashamed, but we point the blame. Same old game, nothing's changed. Yeah. Fast forward now, we got 5G speed. Knowledge of evil, it's all we feed. 3 hours deep, teens on apps. Adults ain't better, caught in the trap. Loneliness rising, connections a ghost. Social media bragging, but we're feeling exposed. Post too quick, typo in the mix. Feeling like Eve, need a shame fix. Adam said her fault, Eve blamed the snake. Kids yell, not me, we all partake. Broke a rib skiing, blame the rock, no doubt. Never ourselves, we just scream and shout. God's whispering clear, put the phone down slow. Face-to-face love, let real life grow. Stop throwing blame, own your rage. Make tech your tool, not your cage. Everyone's dope, Matt M laid it bare. Bored in a convo, check your own stare. Elliot dropping truth, response is the key. Christian or not, that's the change we need to see. From Eden to now, we're still the same crew. Blame throwers running, but I'm rapping what's true. What's true? What's true? What's true? What's true?
You've been listening to Josh Wood's Genesis podcast. Feel free to connect with me on Substack, Instagram, Facebook, X, or Threads. My username is JoshWoodTX on all of the above. Thanks for listening. See you next time.